Hello everyone, Mike Arnold here, co-founder of Pat Trading Partners along with Bob Iacchino. So let's check in on Monero. Monero never triggered the potential double top, instead coming back up, pausing just above our next levels. Now this is really great, another great example of where you can go to a lower time frame. So right now we're on the 1 hour, the 4 hour. The best thing to do is switch to the 1 hour here. So we'll go back and show you what we did. So we came up here, it went through our levels, and then you can easily update to the 1 hour pause where it comes back to the rotation zone. So it went through the levels here, pause, came back to the rotation zone. That's where you move them up. So that gave you the 266 and the 278 level. Came back down just below the 50. Well, let's switch back to the 4 hour now. That's because it came back down into the rotation zone on the 4 hour, moved sideways, and then launched through, coming up to the 278 and poking through that level. Now this is another great area. Let me move this out of the way. This is a great example of where you can also use a reverse Gann box to get some other levels on the next run up. So it comes from this low back to this high, where it poked through the rotation zone, and that gave us a 278 and 282, and it stopped at 283, now pulling back, moving sideways. Now again, you can always do the forward rotation zones off the move that started it and the most recent move to give you some couple different levels. So this gives us 289, 295, 299, and 314 for the next key levels. Now this is just moving sideways, watching the 8 catch up. As the 8 catches up, let's see if it breaks out. If it doesn't break out, we're going to be watching for it to drop to about the 253 to 254 level, which would be the 25% retracement and the rising bottom of the rotation zone. And if we did have a further drop, because we do have a divergence here, see much higher high in price action, significant lower high in RSI, so we may at this point see the bigger pullback. Why I'm waiting on that is because generally on Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening, if we're going to get a breakout move, that's when we start getting it. So I'm watching the 8 come up. If this doesn't break up and starts moving down more, then I'm going to be watching again for this 253 to 254 level, and then a rotation back up. And if we do break through there, I'll be watching for about the 236 to 237. Let's fine tune it on the daily, and I'll show you also why that 236 to 237 is important. That's also where the rising 8 is. So we could easily pull back to that on the rotation zone on the daily, and without interrupting this trend really at all. Let's just check in on these key levels. So right around this first level, 289, we had a big pause there, and then we don't really have any other major resistance above there. So that's going to be really smooth sailing if we can get through this block that it's trading at right now. So we have for you on Monero. Okay, let's switch over to Ripple. So you see it paused at our first level, this 0.7339, coming back to rotation zone, then blowing through the next level. Again, this is another clear indication of where you drop to the 1 hour. Okay, and then you can start watching for the pause. Like here's a nice pause move on the 1 hour, so you can use that projection. Then when it comes up here, you can use this one. So you can see how we do it. We just covered how we did that in Monero, so there's no point to repeat it now, but that's how you use those intermediate levels to watch for things. So let's switch back to the 4 hour now. Right now on this 4 hour, we had a projection of, from this high right here, the 0.88104. We came up with the 0.9344. We poked just through that to 9367, and now we pull back to rotation zone and struggling to get back up. We are also getting some divergences, so we had higher high in price, lower high in RSI, pulling back. So let's either see this again. I'm watching this the same as Monero to see if we break out going into Sunday evening. If we don't, I'm going to be watching for the bigger pullback. Also right here, to point this out, we have a potential double top here, okay, which would just mean bigger pullbacks. And so we could easily pull back if that was triggered, and that would have to be a close or an extended move below the 80. We'd be watching for the 0.74, 0.70, and then eventually 0.67. Those would be potential areas that we watch for key support, and then a move back up. Let's see how that looks on the daily chart. So on the daily chart, it's again also lower probability because it's going against the rotation zone, because you got the 8 right in here, but I might as well point out those levels in case we did have a sharper pullback. because that could pull it back into the rotation zone. Right now, on the pullback, if we can't sustain there, let's see, the 8's right at 0.7871. Let's switch to the 4 hour again, 0.7871. So that's about right here, 7871. So we're also going to watch to see what this 50 comes into. So watch that 0.7871 as first level of support, especially on the daily chart. And if we pulled back below that, I'd be willing to watch it for the 0.755 level to the 7421, this little cluster with the retracement level here. Actually, you know, why do I have those backwards? I have these drawn. Hold on one second. Let me fix this. It's not gonna, they're the same 25% increments, but I just want to look at it correctly. Then I got to move this back up. All right. So that would take it back to this 37.5% retracement, which is very, very key, and the rising 200 simple moving average. And if we had a sudden sharp pullback, it would be back to 50% level, which is a prior breakout zone, and the rising 21. But I'm not expecting that to happen unless some sudden news comes out that's negative to all the cryptocurrencies. So what we have for you on Monero and Ripple, and we'll talk to everyone soon. Bye for now.